So now we're at the review homework time. So make sure you get your correction pens out and your homework. And I am collecting this one, so make sure you do a good job. Remember that you are only to mark it if you got something wrong and when you have a question. Today I'm going to have you guys talk in your small groups. If the small groups are not working for you, you must be writing down the numbers on the board so that they can help you. You can have the community help you out. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and present this, and you're going to go through the answers. I'm just going to walk you through how to do it, because in case the sub doesn't know what to do. You're going to go through the lessons, and you have the answers like this. Remember, you had the split method, and you also had the split the middle method, and you had the cross method. Let's go ahead and take a look at, I don't know, let's take a look at number 7 real quick right here. So we know that it's 14. I remember I always said start with the C, work with the A, and check with the B. We had the 63 that we had to work with, and we had to think of the factors, and that would be 7 and 9. And then we also had, what was the other one? It was 14. And 14, you could think that it's going to be 7 and 2 probably. So you have to think of different combinations to make sure that the cross works. Remember, you're going to cross multiply as far as how that goes. And we want to make sure we get negative 67. So there's a little bit of trial and error involved and whatnot, because you have to figure out where things go. But in the end, let's go ahead and give it a try. We have 2 and then 7. I know that would be 49, and then that would be excuse me, that would be 18. And I would have to think to myself, hey, does that get me 67, specifically negative 67? And it would. If I added those up, it would get to 67, I believe. I'll double check my math, and that is true. But you notice that 63 is the positive, and then 67 is a negative, so I would put negatives here. Therefore, I know my answer is located right here. These are my two binomials. Now remember, there's an element of guessing and checking. I picked a rather hard one, so if you had switched up the numbers, such as 7 and 2 with 7 and 9, you would have gotten 14 and then 28. And the sum of those numbers wouldn't get to that number, so you know that you wouldn't do that method. Anyways, the binomials are simply stated. This one, the first one right here, is going to be really 2x minus 7 multiplied by, remember these are x's technically here, in class we went over that, times 7x minus 9, and that should be the answer, which is on top right there. So that, real quickly, is the cross method. And in review, we want to, let's go over something like 14, for example. Now 14 is interesting. What you should have noticed is they had a GCF. You could take a GCF out, so the easier thing would have been to take out a 2, and then you had 3g squared minus g minus 10. Now for this one, I'm gonna split the middle. This is another method. The key thing is to find whatever works for you. Remember, you have to work with what's in the inside first. Splitting the middle, we look at this and this. That is 3 times 10, or negative 10, I should say. And we got to look at the factors of 3 and 10, and they have to be able to get the middle term, which is 1 right there. So we have to think, what equals 30, or I should say negative 30? And we know 6 and 5 work out that way. And specifically, we want probably it's going to be negative, so 6 is going to be the negative, right? So this 2 has to remain there because we factored it out. Splitting the middle, you're going to keep the first term the same, which is 3g squared, and we're going to split the middle by having it being 6g, and then that's plus 5g. Remember that technically this quantity will equal that middle part right there. Okay? And then it's minus 10. And this is, in splitting the middle, we work with grouping. So what happens is, again, the 2 stays on the outside. This will be a group right here. So you have to think, what can you factor out of both those things? And that simply would be, we got 3g, right? and then what would be inside would be g. I'm factoring out just this portion right here. G minus 2. Okay? And over here, I have to think, what can I factor out of this one? It's still plus, because it's plus right here. I'm going to factor out a 5, and what's left over is g minus 2. Well, it's not a coincidence that technically both terms have g minus 2, g minus 2. We can yet take that out. Okay? So technically, we have that 2 that's still on the outside. Then what I factored out was a g minus 2. And what's left over, let's go back. Left over is 3g and plus 5. So we'll go back. That would be 3g plus 5. Close it. And you'll notice that that answer matches that one. Now, some of you guys might be worried about the order. It doesn't matter what order it is. I prefer, and most mathematicians prefer, the coefficient, the constant to be, not the constant, but the factor, the GCF to be in front. But as far as what goes in front, it really doesn't matter. All right. Now that this explanation is done, go through every slide. Make sure you kind of go over the answers. And there is a total of 49 questions. And you guys know the drill. We want to make sure that we have 80% accuracy for points. If you look at these, some of the answers vary because it depends on what numbers you go into these. So this is a good discussion point to kind of double check to see what you guys have. I want you to confirm. In order to get this right, you have to confirm with someone at your table to see if your answer works, to count these right. Everything is going to be worth 1 point. All these will either all right, all wrong. If you didn't factor out completely, then you will receive points off. These are tricky. I expected this to be a challenge, and I expect you guys to be able to kind of rebound from this. Tonight's homework is a lot simpler and is only one slide. Yes, I said that is one slide. So finally, let's go into the grading aspect of this homework. And pause this video for a second if you want to give them some more time. But it looks like it's a 0 to 10 wrong would give you full credit. So you can get 10 problems wrong, but so long as you make corrections, you should get full credit. And then 11 to 20 will give you an 8-pointer, and then 20 or more wrong will give 6 points. Remember to alpha sort when you return, and we will talk about this tomorrow. There is a quick quiz tomorrow. This quick quiz will be open note, and I will have this homework given back to you so that you can look over it.